This. Okay, it's warming up out there. It's warming up. All right, so listen, let's do this while we're waiting for confirmation that everything's good. Let us know if the audio is good, the video is good, all that kind of stuff. I do want to remind everyone to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for the email list. That is the best way to support us and to communicate with us. On hankstrange.com, you'll find all the different places you can go to and support us. If you look under the Strangerholics tab, also there's Lola Deals, Lola's Deals up there that you guys could check out, as well as you can get patches from us in the merchandise, under the merchandise tab. We've got these cool stickers going on here. We've also got patches. This is the Hell in a Handbasket patch, and we have a few other patches up on the site. If you buy patches, Lola's sending out stickers, or you could just get the stickers. And we can get those sent out to you. All right. Now, that being said, I do want to let me get it. Let me load everyone up in here. We got Walter. We got Texas Gun Vault. There we go. All right. Let me smash the open. Let's go to it.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation.
All right, guys, make sure you smash the subscribe button, smash the thumbs, ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. Yeah, we're live. There we go. Walter's ringing the little... Oh, that's very nice, Walter. You didn't break anyone's... Oh, there we go. Now he's breaking the eardrums.
I didn't smack it hard, you know.
Oh, you should have told me. I have a bunch of percussion instruments here that I could have hit.
Oh, no. Yeah, we definitely... if you have something that you want to just tap gently,
want to bang on something.
How about my Red Bull?
There you go. All right.
Okay.
So listen, we are live. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. Let's do this. Let's start with the jazz hand. So we've got Texas Gun Vault here for the first time. Let's see those jazz hands. There he goes. He's doing it. He's an entertainment dude, so no argument from him. Walter, let's see your jazz hands. There you go. Walter's doing it. We are live. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. This is episode 730 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. As I said, our guest is Texas Gun Vault on YouTube. He's joining us. Please go subscribe to him. What should we call you? TGV?
Jason. Well, I would say that I'm Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, but people call me, TGV. Yeah, so either's fine.
All right, awesome. There you go. We've got Jason here, and we also have Walter Keller here from Safety Harbor Firearms joining us.
Special Wednesday appearance.
Yeah, just to keep it all spicy.
I could be at the shop welding on the mini bike, getting ready for this weekend, but I made a special exception.
Oh,
no.
Well, I thought you needed a break from mini bikes, Walter. I mean, you got.
I wouldn't have volunteered to go right around Friday if I needed a break. I am still sore though. Oh yeah, I must have bruised a rib or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So Jason, Walter is into building mini bikes as well as guns.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Safety Harbor Firearms. Why don't you explain, Walter? Why am I explaining for you?
Safety Harbor Firearms started making 50 caliber uppers for AR-15 lowers back in 2003. That's what we started doing. So it's a conversion to put on top of an AR-15 lower, mag fed and single shot. And now we do that still, and then we're making a bunch of different stocks and brace type stocks for AR-15, CZ Scorpion, the SIG guns, MP5, MP5K, Strebog. So that's the kind of stuff we're doing. So, and I own another company called stenparts.com where we sell parts and pieces for different machine guns, Sten guns, stuff like that. So, yeah. It's kind of it. And I'm playing with mini bikes lately, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the rundown. I don't know if you've ever come across any of Walter's stuff yet.
Yeah.
So
no, but I definitely need to look into it.
Yes. Yeah. So listen.
SafetyHarborFirearms.com.
Absolutely. So listen, a couple of things I want to do before we get started here. One, so on Monday when we did the Free for All Monday, I do want to apologize to everyone. There was a squeaking noise. Now, I cannot remember who complained to us, but whoever that person was, let us know so we can give you our mea culpas, because we dismissed you out of hand, and when I listened to it, there was a squeaky. But
there wasn't complaints about my rant at the end about gasoline prices and everything.
No.
It's up even higher now.
Yeah.
It's approaching $3 a gallon here in the Tampa Bay area.
Well, the one thing I've learned about being on YouTube for as long as I have now, and having so many subscribers and people coming through, is there's a lot of people in the GunTube community that are just wimps. I'm telling you, like they make fun of the way that I talk. They make fun of the background, like they make fun. Oh, you film in your garage. Okay, but people will just nitpick you about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. They nitpick you about everything. It's crazy. It drives me nuts.
Gun guys like to complain. No kidding.
Yeah, they do.
That's called wine.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, wherever you got to do it, man. Wherever you got to do it, respect to you for doing it. I think there's quite a few people that do it in their garage. I mean, I'm talking about making videos and
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
like go and have.
I'm sorry. I'll say that I've always tried to focus my channel that I'm just an average gun guy. I'm not in the firearms business. I know you guys are. I'm a professional musician. That's what I do. I'm a music teacher.
Awesome.
And, but firearms are my passion. I like talking about it, promoting the Second Amendment, and putting out what I think is content that I would be interested in. And I tell people that the content that I make is content that I would want to watch. And if you want to watch, great. If you don't, I'm still going to make it.
Absolutely.
And just try to be a positive influence in the community. And I'm just honored that I've had the success that I've had. And so that's kind of where I come from.
Yeah, and as we say here all the time, I mean, everyone's welcome. You're definitely welcome. We have probably a few teachers out there and some people out there interested in music.
Yeah.
I know I'm interested in music, but I can't play or read music.
I mean, if there's one of the things I could do, if I could do and just all magically start be able to do, is play electric guitar, and not blues and jazz, but just full on.
Let's see, what's that guitar?
Like
is that electric guitar you have behind you on the wall?
Yeah, that is actually. I'm actually a professional trombonist. I know that.
Oh boy,
really
here we go.
I actually have here. If I can see my thing. That's
Don't tell these guys you're a professional trombonist.
That's actually my doctorate right there in music performance from the University of North Texas.
Oh, awesome! Congratulations to you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time for that. Actually, I'll tell you kind of the story behind my situation is these instruments here on the wall are actually they're my wife's husbands that have passed. My wife has an amazing story. She is a twice widow. She lost 2 husbands to cancer.
Oh, okay.
Before me, and they were both musicians.
Okay.
And the trumpet at the top was her first husband, and this guitar was her second. So to kind of honor them and the boys that I've now raised, I keep their instruments in the music room as like an homage to them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was gonna say some bad stuff, but since you said cancer, now I'm gonna seem evil if I say, "Look out! Your wife likes to marry musicians and then myrtleize them."
Well, she gets made fun of. I mean, we've heard it all, and her family is like, "You better not get sick." It's like, I know. I try to take care of myself.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully, your number 3 sticks.
That's the plan.
Otherwise, there's gonna be a trombone on the wall. No, I couldn't resist.
Actually,
that.
all of my trombones would go to my son because that's actually how I met her. She hired me to teach her son.
Okay.
And then that turned into, a lifelong commitment to an amazing woman. So.
Right. Awesome. That's a good story. But we breezed over the professional trombonist. I mean, you don't want to put that on a T-shirt, do you?
No.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's been an amazing life. I'm so blessed. I've traveled the country. I'm playing all the time. I mean, before the pandemic stuff, I played classical jazz, top 40 stuff, you name it. And in fact, that's how my channel kind of grew. Is when the pandemic hit, I had a lot of time on my hands between schools being closed and not being able to play on Fridays and Saturdays at clubs and things. I started just making content. And it just kind of grew from there, where now I put out a video every single day, even as my life has gotten busy.
Right.
Gotten caught up.
Very cool. I don't think Walter. I don't think he's getting my allusions to the trombone thing. I was trying to make some lewd trombone remarks.
Oh, you have to
in
understand.
there. You've heard it all.
So I've heard it all.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I don't.
I
Think
can't
you
let
could
it go.
probably surprise them.
The thing that keeps popping into my brain, if I don't say it, it's gonna make my head explode.
You bet, say it.
I've got 2 words: rusty trombone.
Oh.
Boom. Okay,
I've
I
heard
said.
it all. Trust me.
Walter doesn't even know what we're talking. Walter, do not Google that. Do not Google that, sir. You will. Yeah, you will not want to. You. I don't know how you're gonna unsee any of that. So anyway, okay, we've got it all out of our system now. I don't know if anyone else has it. One thing I do want to do. Night Train out there says, "I am a year older today. I would gladly accept gifts of ammo in the standard calibers." That's for. Happy birthday to Night Train. So there you go. Let's see. M. Gabriel says TGV put the mic down. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Lola said don't say it, but I didn't see that part, Lola. It's too late. I already said it. Lola's trying to tell me.
Do I need to back off the mic?
No, she told me let it go. No, I don't know what that means to let the mic go. I think that so we talked about this a little bit. So Jason's chair is a little bit squeaky. It's not too bad. So there you go. The chair is also a musician. Is the best way I could say that. And M. Gabriel says TGV never responds to bone jokes.
I've heard them all.
Yeah. So by the way, so before we get into, I know you gave us a little bit of the background. So what happened? We did a poll a couple of what was that? Like a month ago, 2 months ago, and we asked folks who they would like to see. One of the people that we did get on that folks wanted to see was Eric Pratt of GOA. We got him on the show, and now we have Texas Gun Vault on the show. And this was as per someone's request. I don't know if it was M. Gabriel. Let us know who was out there that requested it. Glad to have you here. You said you're a teacher, and you're, with everything going on here, you had a lot of time. What else can you tell us? How did you get into the whole gun thing? Were you born into this?
No. Actually, I got into guns probably when I was in college. One of my friends, fellow musician, bought a few. Took me to the range. I was actually kind of anti-gun, but before that time, you're young and stupid, and I was kind of, very liberal, and, and then just things happened. I got to the range. I was like, oh my gosh, this is completely different than what I thought it was. It's a lot of fun. I fell in love with the mechanics. I've always had a mechanical mind. In fact, me and my father have restored a 1969 Camaro. I've just always had a mechanically inclined mind, and that's one of the things that actually draws me into firearms, is how guns work, all the different locking mechanisms, the actions. That's just what fascinates me. And so it kind of grew from there. And then as I got older, started to get more successful in my career, I was able to start to buy guns for myself. And I remember picking up the first gun I ever bought from an FFL. I remember it was a Glock 17 Gen 3. I bought it from Cabela's in North Fort Worth. I had a couple guns before there that I had bought from, friends and things, like Smith & Wesson, like 22 target pistols and things. Mm-hmm. Nothing really to write home about. But I remember buying that first gun and how proud I was. And I always tell people that when it comes to gun collecting, which is kind of what I'm into, it's a nasty addiction, because you buy one gun, you're like, wow, I just spent $475 on a Glock. That's a lot of money. And then you're so happy, and then you get it home, and you take it to the range, and you shoot it, and then you start going, man, I'd like to have that other one. And you save up for that. And then eventually the prices of the guns you're interested in go from $300 to $500, and then you get $1,000 Colt 1911s, and you're like, okay, I've maxed out on this, and then eventually you find yourself, dropping $3,800 on a HK P7 M13 in pristine mint condition, and it just goes from there. It just
yeah, man.
And then
there's no roof. There's no ceiling of how much money you could spend in this game.
No.
Yeah.
What is the gun owner's equation? It's X plus 1 equals Y, where X is the number of guns you have, and Y is the number of guns you need. And so once X becomes Y, then that's it never ends.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just get to this here. Looks like some people say they can't hear you clearly. Let's see. Stanley Walnut says, "Please ask the guest to put his mic closer, please. Thank you."
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Yeah, if we can get that going. You're hearing Jason loud and clear, right, Walt?
Just like you. Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah. All right. So let me see. There's a couple things here. I'm trying to go through the chat and see what's going on. Bernabe Sanchez says, "I'm a Pisces today, but I don't swim." Happy birthday to you, all the Pisces out there. Happy birthday to everyone out there. I'm also a Pisces, so there you go. I just recently had my birthday also, but I hate celebrating my birthday. Now I'm not
Mine's
worried
coming
about
up in 11 days.
in 11 days. Yeah, I don't care about getting old or anything like that. It's just I'm not like a big. It's my birthday. Everybody, wish me happy birthday. But I love to wish other people happy birthday though. So you're a Pisces, right, Jason?
I guess I'm an Aries. March
You're an
the
Aries.
21st.
Oh, okay, because
So it's first day.
yeah. Walter, you're a Pisces, right?
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
and so am I. And there's a ton of people out there. So I don't know if anyone even cares about that. Like, is it even a thing? Do we believe in those anymore? Do we still believe the Earth is flat? I don't know.
Well, I'm big into astronomy, but not astrology.
Right.
So.
Let's see here. I'm trying to see. There's a whole bunch of different things. Someone's asking me about Johnny B. Born to be a shooter. Josh says Johnny B just released a video. The whole propaganda the Dems have planned and have in place to carry out. They have at least 50 partners. No, I haven't had a chance to see that Johnny B video. I don't know if anyone else has. Give me a chance to get a look at it, and then I'll definitely come back and we'll talk about it. So, what's that, Walt?
No, I saw the what do you call it, the advertisement for it on YouTube. I mean the spot, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, yeah. So we need to get a chance to actually check that out. So Texas Gun Vault. Now there is a Texas Gun Vault store. Is that any relation to you? Do you own the store or?
I just do it through Teespring, so it's just part of the YouTube thing.
Oh, okay.
The merchandise.
Right. No, what I was saying is there's actually a gun store called Texas Gun Vault.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Yeah, that's news to me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. They sound like cool people.
Yeah. I think they're in Paris, Texas. Hold on. Let me see if I can look this up and find exactly where it is. I know I was looking. I was Googling you. As people tend to do, to Google each other.
I don't do that.
Hopefully, you didn't find all the bad stuff.
I don't do that.
All the tour video. So look here. Let me see if I can share my screen and I'll show everyone. Let's see. Here we go. So if you Google Texas Gun Vault, right over here comes up. Right there is it's Texas Gun Vault in Clarksville Street, Paris, Texas. I don't know how far that is from you. What part of Texas you're in? So
I'm in Frisco, which is in North Dallas.
Oh, okay. There you go. And then of course there's you. So for the folks who want to go see that, just go click on Texas Gun Vault, the YouTube channel here, and that should bring you through. Come on, YouTube. I'm not signed in over here, but I am subscribed to you. And then I see you put up a video recently on the Walther PDP.
Yeah, it was released today.
Yes, and shout out to the Walther folks out there. Walther does sponsor the podcast. I forgot to say it. The podcast is sponsored tonight by Franklin Armory. But big shout out to the Walther folks out there. You got your hands on a PDP.
Yeah, one of my subscribers. I have the most amazing and wonderful subscribers and viewers of any YouTube channel. I mean, I will put them up against anybody else. And I have a couple of local subscribers that literally lend me their whole collection to shoot. I mean, I always tell people that the guns that you see on my channel are guns from my collection, guns that I buy. I'm not sponsored. I don't get anything. I'm not an FFL, not an SOT. And so anything you see on my channel is my collection or things that people lend me to shoot. And so I'm absolutely blessed and honored that people are willing to do that. And I always promise them that I'll clean them and, make them better than the day that they got them, because I'm super OCD about guns.
Oh, okay. You're
But,
so
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I don't. Just as an aside here, if I borrow guns from anyone, I promise you not to clean it.
I actually enjoy it. To me, I'll go out in the garage, and I love taking the guns apart, and I'll be listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos. It's like my little space. People have a hard time believing, but I am an extreme introvert.
Mm-hmm.
I love being by myself. I love being with my wife. I should clarify that. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times when I'm around people for a long period of time and being a musician, teaching all day, I like to just I need my little space.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go off there and I like to take guns apart and clean them. And, I get into like every like nook and cranny, and it's enjoyable to me. And so, yeah.
Okay, very nice. What do you think about that, Walter? I see you've got some kind of...
Yeah, it was really interesting. I have to say, after handling it, I'm not trying to say it's a groundbreaking gun, because it's an exceptional gun. It's
Mm-hmm.
exceptional, but it's essentially a rebranded or kind of reformed, I think, PPQ. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it's obviously the next step in the evolution. So if you have a PPQ and you love it, is the PDP going to be that much greater of a gun? It's the same quality. It has the same slide stop. I think it uses the same magazines. Maybe the sights are a little bit different. I think someone said that they use Glock sights instead of...
You can use Glock sights now, so that's one of the differences.
So to me, getting it would be just kind of to me, it's more of an aesthetic upgrade than anything. I think that the PDP is laid out fantastic. It feels great in the hand. The grip texture, it has these little hexagons in the texture versus the PPQ.
Mm-hmm.
It has a little bit better, I guess they say, purchase. It's not too aggressive, but it's aggressive enough that if your hands were slippery or oily or sweaty, it's going to be fine. The controls, it's the same. The slide, I think, is great. And I even compared it in my video to the Beretta APX. And I remember when the APX first came out, people made fun of it because it had these big, wide cocking serrations all along the entire slide. Everyone made fun of it. Oh, that looks stupid. But now I've seen so many other companies kind of copy that same aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they've done here. I think it looks great. My biggest complaint about it was, for some reason, and some of my subscribers who commented in the video as well that have shot it have said that it has a higher recoil impulse than the PPQ. I don't know if it's the mass of the slide, which is wider, I think heavier. I don't know if it's the recoil spring. I don't know. But it feels closer to a 40 than a 9. And my wife who shot it said the same thing. It just has more recoil. Mm-hmm. Why? I don't know. But that was my only complaint. Now, is that a deal breaker? Well, of course not.
Okay.
But I was very surprised by that.
Okay.
So
there you go. Walter, I'm trying to get you in on the conversation here. Are you interested in Walther guns? You have any Walther guns? Probably you're interested in the PPK for sure.
Well, I mean, I have everything. I have Walther right now. Oh, P22. What was that? P20. Is it P20? What is
the
one I've got? Yeah, I mean, I don't have.
Of them.
Yeah, I don't have any of the newer stuff at the moment. So
okay.
And then I have old school Walther, with the eagle on the side and stuff.
The classics, is it?
Yeah. But I mean, they make good stuff. There's okay. My opinion, there's so many guns that are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
These plastic frame, striker fired. Yada yada yada. I mean, you can go all day long. Some people like the grips, like you're talking. Some people don't. Some, Babyface with the repo P80, complaining about how his slimy hands are slipping on it. And I'm like,
yeah.
Grips too big, grips too small. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, Jason. Have you gotten a chance to get your hands on the Lipsy's P80? The first Glock.
Oh yeah, I have one. I have all 5 generations. I have the P80. If anybody wants to see, go check out my Glock collection. I have like everything. I know it's weird to people that.
So you got a Gen 1.
I have a Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got the
nice.
What is it? the P80. I got the, what was the one? I'm trying to think of what it's called. The RTF2. I have that one.
I don't even know what that is. What's the
The
RT?
the rough texture too. It was like a Gen 3.5.
Huh.
It was, in fact, the Larry Vickers Glocks use that grip texture
Okay.
as well. It's very aggressive. And some people absolutely loved it. But it was closer to a Gen 3 than a Gen 4.
Yeah, I bow down to your Glockitude, sir. Yeah.
Well, do you ever remember seeing Glocks with I guess they called it the fish gill serrations? They look like little half moon cuts instead of having vertical.
I think I've seen that in picture. What gen was that?
That's the RTF2.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think I've seen pictures of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a G22 in that. I've always wanted a G17, but those are hard to find. And the G19s go for crazy amounts of money. If you can find an RTF2 G19, it's $1,400, $1,500.
Okay. Yeah, I know Walter's looking for a Gen 1 Glock, right?
Well, kind of. I mean, I'm not going to pay crazy money for it. To me, it's one of those things. It'll appear one day when somebody wants to trade or do something, and But I'm not going to go out and not this time. Not during pandemic times either.
Oh yeah, prices.
Prices are probably 25, 30, 40% higher than normal. So, and Glocks too, right across the board. So yeah. It's supply and demand,
Absolutely. That's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so I think we got somehow sidetracked from the Walther from the PDP. So you like it? I think I agree with you. Basically, it's replacing the PPQs, and it's kind of like an upgrade. It is a different gun. I think they said that. I think, what was it? The barrels are the same, I think, and the magazines. I think that's about it.
I don't know. Maybe the dimensions of some of the parts are different, but looking inside, there's a lot of similarity. To me, it's more of a cosmetic thing. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not in any way saying, oh, they were lazy. I'm not saying that because I don't want to make anybody mad. It's just it's like people joke about the new gen, of Glocks. Get back to the Glock. We all know what the Glock Gen 6 is going to be. It's going to be a Glock. Well, the new Walther is going to be like the last Walther with some cosmetic upgrades. And
yeah, if it did well. So PPQs, for example, very popular amongst folks out there. A lot of guys use that to train, competition and stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess whatever is not broken, they don't necessarily have to fix it. But I know when I spoke to them, and I haven't gotten my hands on one as you have, so I'm not really sure. And I do have a PPQ, and as I said, they sponsor the podcast here. But it doesn't bother me if someone comes on, they really hate Walther, they could say it. If whatever, it's all we're all welcome to our opinions here.
They're fantastic. They're awesome. The trigger is absolutely amazing. I mean, the PPQ was already great. This trigger improves it just a little bit. I know there's a lot of hyperbole out there right now where people are saying, "Oh, it's the greatest." Is it the greatest striker-fired polymer, trigger ever? Maybe, but the PPQ was already there, and it just refines it just this much. It's like it's not like it's groundbreaking. It's just already awesome.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any comments on this. If anyone else out there has gotten their hands on a PDP, let me know. Someone's asking BDOC06GC_614. Yeah, thanks a lot. I don't know what that's supposed to spell out. Says, heard any updates on the Palmetto State Armory Jackal? No, I haven't heard anything.
We were supposed.
Go ahead.
Well, we had talked before about getting back together with those guys in January, and obviously that didn't happen. So, it'll happen. Their stuff will come out when it's ready.
Yeah,
that's that.
I think. So I know that PSA has that event coming up, and if you guys want to know if they've said that they're going to announce anything there, I have no info on that. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But what I would say when it comes to PSA and a lot of other companies out there that have promised you new things, unless they've been developing that for a long time, I wouldn't expect to really see these things come out right now because it's tough to even just keep up with production. Gen Champ Jr., of course, is asking about the dagger. Same thing. Don't know
Yeah,
anything
I
about the
mean,
dagger. Haven't gotten any, any kind of information on that dagger. So right now, these guys are trying to make everything that they're trying to get stuff out to folks. So Cafe Music Lover says had a PPQ, sold it, got a CZ SB01. So there you go. And then Tools and Target says whatever happened to the dagger, it is it just not coming out at all now.
no,
So
I don't think that's the case. Look, right now, if you had a choice, let's spend a lot of time and money coming out with a new gun, or let's just keep making what we're making and sell a shitload of them.
right.
Well, that's
What are
what
you
I
gonna
tell
do?
everybody about ammunition. People goes, well, I can't find 44 Magnum. I'm like, because no one's making it right
Who
now.
cares?
Well,
Who
exactly,
cares?
because they're just pumping out 9, 45, 5.56,
22.
and 22, and that's it. They're not going to tool up for, Makarov ammo right now because no one's going to buy it. They're going to.
Well, the Americans never were that way, anyways. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's always been a foreign ammo.
Yeah.
But yeah, why spend your time making something that's and all that energy when you can keep making what you're making at the time being right now and sell everything you make as fast as you make it.
Yeah, because if you have to take time and change all the tooling, change everything, you're down for days until
The
you get
focus,
everything. Yeah.
when you take the focus away to do something else, it's hard to get back to that. So they'll come back. That new stuff will appear magically after when things someday calm down.
Yes, if they calm down. And I don't want to get everyone all riled up. I hope that they will calm down. I think we need the pendulum to swing back the other way to get this stuff to calm down. We need to get rid of. Obviously, these guys are trying to go for guns. I know there's hearings in Congress today about that.
There's
But
going to be, and probably there's going to be a concerted effort from all these their friends to all make the world look like, the guns are causing everything to happen in the world. And who knows? There might even be a shooting someplace, they magically appear sometimes. And then I don't want to speak like a conspiratorialist, but the shooter appears, the shooter does this stuff, and all of a sudden you never hear another word about the shooter, and nothing investigation or anything. Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, to me, the one that bothered me the most, and it was the worst timing, was they were going to vote on I think it was called the Sportsman's Protection Act or something. It was when Representative Scalise and the baseball shooter, they were going to vote on it that day, and the Hearing Protection Act to take silencers off the NFA was on that vote. And as soon as that happened, poof, gone. It's like, boy, that was some timing.
Yeah, that'll get you.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, but that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
That event that went on. Remember down in Miami, the dude that was sending the bombs or whatever to different political, all Democrats. Remember, it was all Democrats. And what happened to that guy? It's like, what happened to that whole thing? It's just like gone. Whatever. We live in weird times.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to fix it. It might be, yeah.
But I try not to panic people either, and I try to look at history, and I look at the realities of the political makeups of everything right now. And I know that there's a lot of talk. I know there's a lot of people that are trying to fundraise pro-Second Amendment groups off of hysteria, and I totally get it. I donate to Second Amendment groups. I think everyone should. Whoever you want to support is. But I really don't look at things like assault weapons bans or magazine capacity limits having any chance. Right? I know the anti-gunners control both chambers. They haven't blown out the filibuster. They're not going to. And there's so many Democrats that in both the Senate and the House that are like, they're coming from red districts or purple. They go, we cannot have this vote on my record. And
not with midterms that's all these guys live for is election. So not with midterms coming up. But we probably will get some executive orders. But guess what? We don't have to comply with any stupid anti-Second Amendment laws, man. We don't have to comply with that.
Yeah, but the executive orders cannot create law. They can only reinterpret law and bureaucracy. So, like, the executive orders, with as many as Joe Biden's already signed, I think that if he was going to do something on guns, he already would have by now. And the ones that they're going to, or the ones that he may sign, are going to be things that will probably deal more with FFLs. Tell the ATF, do more inspections, do this, don't let this fall through the cracks. It's not going to affect, I think, the average or typical gun owner.
Not unless they want to push it into getting in front of the Supreme Court. Now, I don't think it's iffy, right? If the Supreme Court's going to take up anything Second Amendment, but I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of confidence with them in it. But yes,
as long as Roberts is in charge, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence with Roberts. I mean, Roberts is the one person who dissented against this case with the kid that was going to college, and they remember there was a recent case where this kid was going to college and they somehow denied him his freedom of religion or something like that. And then it recently came up and Roberts was like, oh, this is an old case. The kid's not even in college anymore. Well, what are you supposed to do if it can't get in front of the Supreme Court when you're in college? Right?
Well, see, that's what happened with the New York Pistol and Rifle Association versus the City of New York. They changed the law, and then the whole case is considered moot. But yet they need to rule on the merits, because what's going to stop another city or New York's from just reversing their decision again and going back to the way it was?
Right.
And I don't like the thing about the Roberts Court that I'm not a big fan of is the fact that they just kind of kick the can down the road. They don't want to be the court that's known for being radical or addressing these issues. They just want to keep everything kind of in the lane. And it's just like with the election. I'm a big boy. I'm okay if my guy loses an election. I can handle it. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep moving on. But at least when it comes to the courts, rule on it. It's okay. Well, not okay, but I mean, I prefer you to rule in my favor. But make a ruling instead of just, we're not going to hear it. We're going to deny cert. We're not going to elevate it. Make a decision, because all these people for so long are just fighting lawsuits at the circuit level, the district level. Just make a decision. Do something. I don't know. I just don't like how they're just silent on so many things.
Yeah, go ahead, Walt.
They got to Roberts a long time ago. So I'll just leave it at that.
There's some kind of evidence out there. There's some kind of evidence.
They got to him on something, and they got him right where they want him, and he's not going to do anything. So
right.
And I don't want to be a conspiratorialist either, but it's I mean, we live in really weird times, I mean, you can commit treason and get away with it if you're a Democrat. So basically. But hey,
see, all of that makes it, I think, dangerous for the companies, right? Because the companies are the ones who could get hit by all these things the most.
We're just going to do some stuff on the FFLs, yeah. So if you forget to leave cross out a little check mark, they can try to take your license away. It's like, it's bullshit. I'm an FFL, so when they come in and they say, oh, you didn't check that box. I sat and just spent 2 days doing paperwork on stuff, getting caught up on things. But, and looking at things like that and flipping through it. I'm to the point now where it's like, if they say that to me ever again, I'm going to tell them to F themselves. I mean, because sometimes it's so nitpicky, and, it's like, and these people come and inspect you or nothing, but they know nothing about firearms, okay? Nothing. And nothing. They know how to cross the I's and dot the T's, and, but when it comes to any kind of question about firearms, they have to call somebody and ask somebody and get a thing, and it's like.
But that makes folks like yourself that actually manufacture these guns the most susceptible to what these guys do.
To this bullshit.
Yeah, because the average citizen can refuse to comply with things, but you as a gun company, they could come in here, they could come in there with the guns blazing and lock you up and take stuff away and put you in court and do whatever, all kinds of craziness as we see. Yeah. So
for real petty stuff.
Yeah. And this is why I think like right now, why would companies now? Granted, as I said, if you've already invested, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, Booth's right here. Right. That's sorry. You got it. The light you got to touch. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. I'm trying to get Lola to put on some lights here for me. Yeah. So the thing is if you've already invested, it's dead. It's not working. Sorry. I try to text you, woman.
You just texted me just
now. I told you all of this stuff in there, so I didn't have to say it. You got to read the text. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, if you already invested money, then I could understand why, these, like, you would still put something out. But if you're in the process, okay, now you're shaking the camera. Seriously. Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Continue on.
I don't know. I think it made it. I think it's all worse here now. Let me see if I can get my camera to be. Yeah, my camera's just tripping, so that's what's going on. Yeah, it's just going through. It's like having some kind of spaz attack. If you're in the process, right, and you're about to drop another 1 million or 2 million on development of a gun, it's like, why? I would shelve that right now. I would shelve it. I would not drop that 1 million. I would produce the guns that are already out there that people are buying, and I wouldn't keep investing necessarily in that thing unless I had to. Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you're on the cusp of releasing it, great, do it.
Yeah.
But like there's some things we were working on that aren't nearly anywhere near ready to be read, and we've just been busy making the things we've been making.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And as fast as we make them, we sell them. So
yeah,
keep
absolutely.
making those things and sell them, And then when things will eventually slow down somehow or another.
Yeah.
Somehow or another, it'll slow down.
Right.
I mean, I might pick up for being mini bikes, but
yeah.
So eventually, then we'll get caught up with the new projects and things like that. So
yeah, exactly. Shout out to Ava Flanell. I see Ava out there. Shout out to her.
And there's even stuff that we haven't even worked on that I want to make. But I'm not going to do it when it's crazy, when it's like it is right now. So,
yeah. So, and then I know someone says, by the way, Johnny Boy 762 shouted you out. There's a lot of folks coming in shouting you out, Jason.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Got his crew in here.
Diesel T.
Hit the likes button, you crew members. Come on, hit the likes button.
All the folks. By the way, everyone out there, smash the thumbs ups right now. We've got over 100 people watching us live. If half those people smash the thumbs ups, we can get to 100, which will help us all. And Diesel TV says, LMAO, I love lives. Everything goes. When you're going live, Jason, does everything go wrong when you're live?
I'm actually pretty lucky.
Okay.
Everything seems to go good. The thing about my chats that I have trouble with is just keeping up with the chat. People come in and ask me questions about guns or what my thoughts are on this, and I start just going through it, and then people get mad at me. It's like, well, you missed my question. When the chat's going by so fast and I'm talking, I don't know. It's going back to gun people being a little whiny at times.
No, well, I'm trying to get people when I see it. I'm trying to at least throw things up there or whatever. Yeah. Listen. Some people only throw up the people who give them money. We welcome and enjoy and thank you for the money, right? But I try to throw everyone's things up there, especially the folks who are coming through here, man, to support you. And then we hope that some of these folks in here become new fans of yours if they don't already know about you. So there you go.
I sure hope so.
What I really enjoy about gun people is a lot of the gun people don't know what kind of gun they own. So, for example, MP5, right? MP5, HK MP5. They'll order a stock for an MP5, and when they get it, they find out it's not the stock for their MP5 because they have an MP5K, or they have an MP5K and they order a regular MP5 stock, and it's like, and they have no clue. Well, how many pins does it have in the back? You ask them. Is it 1 pin or 2?
I'm not looking at the pins, Walter.
I don't know.
Why am I looking? I don't buy an MP5 to look at the pins. Damn it.
I do. Oh. but I'm a nerd.
I feel like I'm a nerd, but I'll look at the pins when Walter says, "How many pins are back there?"
Well,
wait a second. There's pins.
You guys are talking Walters, the modern new Walters, and you're rattling PP this and PP that and PP on me, and I don't know any of those PPs. I really don't. I mean, I know because it's an ever-changing thing. Once again, is there a 17 and 18 or 22, a Glock 17 too with an R with a thing with a rusty grip, and it's like. So that's what I mean. It can get really confusing to some folks, especially newbies that never touched a gun, much alone know what
guns look simple to some folks out there, but guess what? They're really complicated. And if it comes down to like, oh, which version do you have? How many pins are in there? How many,
You have a 1-pin Glock. You have a 2-pin
Yeah.
Glock. You have a,
Does it have finger grooves? Or there, Jason was talking about the fish scales on the
Yeah,
slide.
you blew me right there. I know the fish gills. I know the fish gills. It's
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, 2 instances today that you guys were talking about. I actually had a little ammo exchange with a friend of mine who's also a subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
He had bought 7.62 by 39, but he really should have bought 7.62 by 51. And he contacted me. I got all this ammo. Will you trade me? I'm like, yeah, I will. But he just saw 7.62. And it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone else asked me about a vertical foregrip actually just before the podcast tonight. And I said, well, what rail do you have on your AR?
Mm-hmm.
The one that comes on it. you got to be more. Is it M-Lock, key mod, quad rail? I'll have to go look it up.
Rail.
Yeah.
Got to help me here.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about what I try to do and communicate with people is to never seem condescending. I always try to be as welcoming as possible and try to educate them in a kind way. And I guess that's just me as an educator, teaching kids how to play music, and they have no concept of advanced musical skills. So I'm always patient, and I never talk down to them. I'm always trying to lift them up. I try to do the same thing when it comes to me talking to gun owners, especially people that are just getting into the firearms community, because they're the ones that could turn the tide politically if they start voting the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walter, on the other hand, is condescending in the mobile. Walter's that dude. No, just kidding.
Here's another thing. An older person buys a Beretta shotgun knock clone, and he brings it back in the shop, and he's like, it is all wonky way. Parts are jammed up weird and everything else because he was trying to take it apart or something. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm not a Beretta shotgun person, but we figured it out. We got it all squared away, and he did something weird to make it like it was. And the instructions really sucked because this was a copy made in Turkey, and they weren't that, or maybe even China. I can't remember. The instructions were really bad. So I learned it was a learning thing for me too. While I was trying to learn him how to fix it too, and we got it squared away, and I wasn't. People say, well, I didn't do anything to it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, yeah, you did. You did do something to it. I mean, it's like, but we figured it out and everybody went away happy. And he was happy as lark that I got it squared away for him. So,
yeah. So that's Walter. So Walter, your gripe about, so let's say that's your gripe about gun people, right? They don't know what they have. You feel like they need to be a little bit more educated.
Well,
what they have.
You got this thing. Everybody sits and plays with this thing all day long. This thing here can show you how to fix any gun. All you got to get is go on YouTube, and it'll show you how to put that bread together. It'll show you how to put your latest Glock together, the latest one, the worst one, the best one. It's all right here, and I've done it. It's like, how the hell does this go together?
But Walter, okay, as Jason is saying, though, this is your chance to be an ambassador.
I mean,
human beings like talking to other human beings.
I do that when I get a chance, but there is a time when you have to put somebody, when they've done something really dumb and they continue to do things dumb. You can only coddle the dumb so long, and then you have to say, whoa, stop talking. Like I've had people telling me what's going on, and they won't shut up. You know how it is, like, well, I did this and this, and on the phone, it's like, stop talking. Just give me a second, and I can fix this in a couple
Jason's
words.
Just looking at you like, oh,
one paragraph, and I can tell you what you did wrong.
Right.
And I'll tell him, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
well, as a mentor of mine once said, you can tell somebody something a million times, but until they're ready to hear it, it's not going to sink in, and that's why you have to be patient.
And eventually tell them to stop talking. I mean,
that's valid.
My dad's like that. My father's like that sometimes. He's telling me something going on and on. I said, Dad, stop talking for a second. Let me tell you what's going on. And as soon as you do that, everybody's on the same page. It's like, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can't do that with somebody who's all frazzled. You got to let them. Sometimes you got to let them spew their guts out for a while, and then you tell them to stop.
You have to be a little bit of a therapist. Okay, so listen. Let's find out from Jason what his gripe or his pet peeve about gun people would be, since we're on this subject. Go ahead, hit us with it.
My gripe, oh man. Well, I have a couple. I shouldn't say it's gripes. I just have small things. I am just amazed how we're all in this together. And I try to, in fact, I have this segment that I do every Sunday. It's the Texas Gun Vault Question of the Week, where I ask something about, I don't know, like it could be politics, it could be certain guns, what, and this week's is, what got you into firearms, or what kind of gun owner are you? Are you a hunter? Are you a collector? Or you do it for practical shooting? Do you do it for personal protection and whatever? And it frustrates me when people don't realize we're all in this together. Like, somebody can just be in it for hunting. I just want to go out and hunt birds and hogs. I don't care about ARs. I don't care about handguns. All I want is that. But they're fine throwing everybody else under the bus. You don't need those magazines. You don't need that. I can't believe anyone needs to have. And then conversely, I have people that are all into the games. They're all competitive shooters, and they look at us collectors. They go, how in the world can you have a HK P7 M13 that you don't shoot? Well, it's because I like to get out of the safe and fondle it. That's just how I like to go. And so they can be real mean to each other. And I don't understand why different people in the firearms community we just can't see, okay, we might be into it for different reasons, but we're all in it together. What did Benjamin Franklin say? We have to hang together, or we're all going to hang separately. And I kind of look at that, and that's my frustration. And I don't understand why people will come on my channel and just be mean to be mean. People will say, oh, you're fat, or you stutter. I know that. Thanks for, whatever it is. It's like, why would you come to my channel? And then, in fact, I have a couple of trolls. I'm sure you have, trolls too. That just come on
we
there.
probably have the same trolls in some cases. So, yeah.
And I could put up a video of taking puppies to go see kids in a hospital, and I'm going to get this. It's one person. He logs on with 5 accounts. Within the first 5 minutes of every video that I put, 5 thumbs down. I know it's the same. I know it's the same person.
But that's all good though.
Yeah, it's still interaction. It's still interaction
Right,
after all. Yeah.
So just say, hey man, have a nice day.
I know. I tell him that. I don't care. But it's just funny. It's like, why do you do that?
That happened to
it's
me.
That power. They have that power they don't have. They
Right.
can't do that. They can't walk up to you and do that.
Right.
They won't walk up to you and do that.
Well,
So this is their way of being, Mr. Big. I mean, that's
It's like the person, and to relate it to the gun world, there's some people that get mad about your gun handling, but they're looking at a flat 2D screen and they don't know 3-dimensionally what you're doing when you're making videos. So now, and one of the things is when we're making videos, we're taking risks. That's a risk in itself. When a lot of movies these days don't even use real guns, right? And the firing that you see is all CG'd in and stuff like that. Or if they do have guns, they have airsoft and they CG it in, or they have guns that shoot blanks, all that. Those are still dangerous. But we're using real live ammo and all that kind of stuff. But there's still an inherent risk, which we're all taking. But because we know we're taking that risk, we try to follow safety things. It's very flat when it comes out for people to see like exactly whether or not someone's getting muzzled. But people just always get crazy about that. Well, so on the flip side of what I do on Stranger Palooza, where we talk about car stuff, and this past weekend I was doing some. I was out at the Ocala RV show and doing RV things. There's people like, oh, you interviewed this person, you had no mask on, and you shook their hands. And I was like,
and I applaud you.
And but I'm like we're consenting adults. Hello,
adults. If that other person wanted to have a mask on, they'd have a mask on, right?
Yeah. And we're also not even breaking rules here in Florida. If you're outdoors, you don't have to necessarily wear a mask. In these events that do have some rules, like indoor things, they want you to put a mask on. If I went indoors, I put a mask on. But if we're consenting adults outdoors, and we're meeting and talking to each other, you're not going to get COVID over the airwaves because we're not wearing a mask or we're shaking each other's hands.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of consenting adults doing what consenting adults can legally do. That's fine with me.
It's
the libertarian in me.
Right, and I think it's the same thing with the safety stuff. Now, obviously, I don't want to hurt anyone. No one wants to get hurt. We don't want to do that. And sometimes people make mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And I believe, like, hey, if this is really important. I remember one time I was doing a video with Mr. Guns and Gear, and we were doing something, and for whatever reason he turned around and I had a gun in my hand, but he took the muzzle and put it down. People had different ideas about that. They were like, oh, that's real dangerous what you did. And then they're like, oh, that's very rude of him to put your thing down. At the end of the day, this is a guy who trains, who was in the military, trains people all the time and all that. What he did was instinctive, and it never hurt my feelings, right? I feel like he did what he needed to do. Lola, are you singing? Lola,
Yes,
are you singing?
maybe.
I'm gonna kick you out of the van if you're actually gonna sing while I'm doing this thing. Please, I can hear you singing over here. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell.
I know exactly what you're saying, because I'll occasionally get people, because when I film my videos, I do my range reports, or if I have a gun, I have no live ammunition in the garage. It's just me and the gun, and normally I will have just cleaned it. So I mean, I know it is. There's no, I just don't have ammunition out there when I'm handling it. And sometimes the handling of it, I'll show the gun, I might point the muzzle at the camera. And I've had people get on my case and go, how dare you, that's horrible gun handling. I'm like, I'm in a garage by myself pointing the gun at an inanimate object. Or if it's just sweeps past, like, no one's here, like, there's no one behind the camera.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't understand that. I understand that people want to make sure, and I guess it makes them feel good, like, oh, I'm showing people safety, and I'm all about safety. I'm 100% about safety,
right.
Safe gun handling, and I teach people how to handle guns and respect them and all that. But when I'm in the garage filming my videos, it's just me. Yeah. And so if I sweep the camera, that's not bad gun handling, because I'm not thinking, oh, there's a person there. Yeah. I'm thinking, oh, it's an inanimate object. But they still get on my case.
You know what's in front of that muzzle, but there's people who like, you just muzzled me, bro. And I'm looking at this on YouTube, and you just muzzled me.
I'm so scared. It's the same thing. When people feel they have to correct you and everything, it's the same people that say you have to wear a mask all the time. Because you're endangering them. And it's like, endangering you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me let me hit you guys up with my pet peeve, just to bring this full circle here. I mean, I know that was like a little one there, but my official one is this. There's a lot of stuff I could deal with in the gun world, and as a matter of fact, I think the gun world's pretty awesome. For the most part, everyone's friendly. People always want to share their guns with you, and people always want to help each other.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, we talk about people, but in the comments, lots of people share their experience, or like if they see something or I did something wrong and I didn't even notice it, even though I'm editing that video, they say, hey, did you notice you were doing this? There's lots of great folks out there, I think, in the gun world. But that being said, there's some the gun snobs. Those are the people that drive me. Like the guy who wants to tell you that you have a Glock and Glock is for the poors. Because he's got some kind of SIG or whatever, or
he's got a cabot. He's got a cabot.
I don't even see. Can I tell you something? I don't see the cabot guys act. I don't see the guys that have really expensive handguns acting like that. I think it's like how Jason said, a Glock is around $400 or $500, maybe $600. Then there's someone who's gonna get like some kind of SIG that's $900, or just a couple of $100 more. And I remember one time, at which this weekend I'm gonna go do videos with Sam Andrews that makes leather holsters, Andrews Custom Leather. And one time I went out there, and a guy came to pick up his holsters, and he was just finishing making a leather holster for me, and the guy was like, "Oh, what gun is that holster for?" And he was like, "Oh, it's for a Glock 19." The guy said, "What? Glock 19? That's for the poors."
Yeah,
oh, there we go.
He came over and was wondering what was going on.
Look at that. So. Yeah.
That's what's going on.
All right. Yeah. So that's awesome. So yeah, this guy was like, "Oh, that's sacrilege. Why would you even bother making a leather holster for a Glock 19? I was like, okay, you know what, guy? Seriously? This gun is going to shoot you the same way as your SIG or whatever you think is more awesome.
I try not to, when we have, people doing transfers coming through the shop. We had a cabot come through the shop the other day. As a matter of fact, come think of it. We've had $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 shotguns come through the shop. Stuff like that. People buying them, selling. I don't, if you want to have the $10,000 shotgun and just hold it and look at it in the thing, that's your world. Hey, go for it. You know, I mean, if you want to have the cheap, inexpensive shotgun and that's your thing, and you're so happy to get it, great.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge. If someone has, I saw someone saying earlier that he was talking to some people who said that they had Glocks, and when they showed up, it was high points. Okay, I understand that. They showed up with Glock 40s, you know, and they were high. Yeah. But the thing is like, I am not going to judge a person if I have a high point. I want to own all the guns in the world if I could possibly do it, right? So why am I going to judge someone because of the cost of their gun? You know, I mean, it's...
Well, one of my channel mottos is the Second Amendment is for everybody. And so if somebody, because of their situation, socioeconomic status, if a high point's all they can get, or even, you know, I've reviewed a, was it the Raven Arms? What is it, like the 20, what is the 25? Yeah. There's a little, I mean, horrible gun. But if that's all that somebody can get at that moment, and that's all, then more power to them.
It got you in the game.
It got you in the game more, and when they're ready, they might be able to upgrade. I'm not going to look down upon them if that's all they have. The Second Amendment is for everyone.
Yep. If you you have to use a blunderbuss,
hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, black powder, whatever. You know, it's all good, man. I mean, I get it. Like, I see people. There's people that just don't like Glocks. Okay, it's not for you.
That's fine. I mean, hey.
Yeah. You know, people don't like this gun or that gun.
I'll take your Glock. I'll take your Walther. I'll take your CZ. I'll take your High Point. I'm an equal opportunity gun owner. You know, I'll take them all. You know, if you want to give me that Raven, I'll take that Raven.
Yeah.
I'll play with it. I'll shoot it just for hell. You know, I don't care.
I might not buy it, but I'll take it.
No, I'm not going to go hunt one down.
Is that the company that used to be Jimenez, or no? That's
it's all the same. It's all the same company.
Yeah. I have one somebody gave me that wasn't working, and I needed a barrel basically.
Isn't that every one of them that's not working?
Well, this was really bad. So I kind of made a barrel for it, and I was playing with it. I was going to put a suppressor on and everything, just have like a ghetto suppressed 22 or whatever. You know, I don't know. But
a small suppressed 22. Have you guys seen the new Beretta? Was it the 22A covert? You guys know, like the 22.
The little tiny Beretta. Yeah, I don't know. They have. Let me see. They have a covert.
I just got one, and I did an unboxing video, and it's in the flat dark earth. It looks like the M9A3, and I already ordered through one of my SOT friends a Bowers Biddy, like tiny, like little tiny 22 suppressor. It is the coolest little 22.
That's that they used to call it the Bobcat or whatever.
The Bobcat.
They've been making it forever.
Yeah, but now they have it factory threaded barrel. So when you said like a little threaded barrel, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I got to pick one up.
I'm trying to load it up here and see if we can show the folks what we're talking about.
What's old is new again. So that's been around for as long as I've been doing guns, and I started doing
that's cool. Yeah, it comes threaded. Nice.
Yeah. You back in the old days, you had to buy that barrel and put it in.
Yeah. So now you don't have to. Yeah. Now you don't have to spend that extra money to get it threaded. That's cool.
That was the model that I think see, that's the double action model that replaced the single action 950 BS.
Yeah.
In 25, 22. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also a great gun. If anybody wants to get a little tiny small vest pocket, I mean, I know 25 and 22 is not a good self-defense round, but those things are such high quality.
If that's what you have on you and you have to defend yourself with it, nobody wants to get shot by a 22.
Back in the old days, it used to be the statistics where more people were killed with 22s and 25s than the other calibers, because you get shot 3 or 4 times or 5 times and you bleed out.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not die immediately, you might run off, but they end up bleeding out someplace. So
yeah. Len Holt says this, and I'm gonna let you guys comment on this since we were talking about so much about Glocks. He says, I agree with Mac. The Glock 19 is obsolete. Okay, who wants to take this? And Mac has a video. You guys might not have seen it, where he's talking about the Glock 19 being obsolete. I did see the video. I don't know, Walter or Jason, have you guys seen that?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen that specific video, and maybe it's because I made a video about the 26, which I was just one of my. It's in my carry rotation, And I said in the video, it's an obsolete gun with a gun like the SIG P365.
Mm-hmm.
It's an obsolete gun. And so many people rag on me about it. I said, listen, I still carry it. I own it. I think it's a great shooter, but compared to other offerings, it's obsolete. So I have to check out that video.
Are you saying Mac bit your style? Are you saying Mac copied off of you? And,
he actually stole one of my thumbnails. I have if you go through my channel and go back far enough, you can see kind of the transition from when I used to just film on my cell phone to where I now have a nice camera, which was given to me by one of my subscribers. Where I made a video on my Special Weapons 5, which is the when I first wanted to get an MP5. This is back before all these other imports are now. I bought this. Now as I know it's a junky MP5 clone. I made a video about it. He actually stole my thumbnail and put it in one of his latest videos about like the worst guns of whatever. So I was like, thanks.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I was fine with that. I thought it was cool.
That's cool. Yeah, he always bites my style because I'm just so sexy. I mean, I get it. It's,
Yeah.
You got to look at the awesomeness. No, I'm just kidding. But, so what do you guys think about this? Do you think the Glock 19 is obsolete? Without either one of you having watched it, what do you guys think? Is the Glock 19 obsolete?
I have to hear his points, but I would say no.
If the Glock 19 is obsolete, then all the Glocks are obsolete.
So what he's saying,
because they all work the same way.
What he's saying, this is me recalling from looking at the video. So this is not exactly what Max said. He's not here to put his points forward, but the video is out there for anyone who wants to see it. Basically, he said that the Glock 19 is obsolete because of the Glock 48, and because of the 43X. Because really, you can get like a higher capacity magazine for the 43X. You can get a higher there's the 48, so it's like thinner, but you still have a reasonable amount of rounds in the magazine. So therefore, they're better than the Glock 19. So I don't think he's saying obsolete in terms of if you pick up a Glock 19 and it's loaded and chambered and everything, it's not going to work. It's going to go, hold on a second.
He's not saying from a technological standpoint. He's saying from a form and function standpoint.
He's saying that Glock hasn't advanced. They're still selling that gun, but they've put out other guns that are actually better than it. And then I think he goes on to show other companies' offerings out there that are better than the Glock. And so I think what he's saying is that at one time, like when I got into the gun world about 9 years ago, the Glock 19 was the gun to beat. Right or wrong? Wasn't that like?
I think it still is. I mean, in fact, that's the gun that I tell people that are just going to buy their first gun. That is to me, it's my baseline. And a lot of times when I review guns, I use the Glock 19 as the baseline. Everyone knows its size. Everyone knows its capabilities. Everyone knows what it feels like. It's just such a ubiquitous gun. And I have to say, I understand what people say about capacity with the Glock 19 and maybe the Glock 48 and all that. But to me, I think you also have to take into consideration. It's not always about thickness. That's what she said, But the Glock 19 is going to feel better in my hand than a Glock 48. Sometimes I'll tell you one of the worst guns I ever shot. I thought I would love is the SIG P938. I thought it'd be awesome, and then I realized putting a 9mm in such a thin, small gun sucked. Like, ouch.
A lot of recoil in the hands. Yeah.
Yeah, and so to me, we start getting into those smaller Glocks. They're great for concealed carry, but if I was going to be maybe a police officer, which I'm not, I would think I kind of want that heftier gun. I don't know. The Glock 19 just.
There's only a few SIG handguns that I even like. The P365 I think is a good gun. And we have one. Lola carries that more than I do, and I don't think I ever carry it. It's a good gun, but it's too small for my hands. I think it was designed for either people with men with little tiny baby hands, or women. And that's what a lot of modern guns, they're designing it for women now. So it doesn't really fit my particular thing. But I'm not trying to say that SIG doesn't have some cool offerings out there. I think the P320s with the chassis, I like those. I had the 250s in the past, and those sucked when it came to the trigger and stuff like that. I don't know. The premise, so if you want to say that the Glock 19 is no longer a usable gun, I think it's a pretty good usable gun. But yes, I think I would kind of agree with him in what he's saying. Like, my Glock 43 has kind of replaced my Glock 19 on my hip, or even the 26, as you said, Jason. I have not even, since the 43 came out, I have a Glock 19 on me, always close by, right? And I have a 43 on my hip. I don't even use my 26 anymore.
Well, I now have so many double stack mags that are all compatible. I don't know if I want to go to the single stack. I got to buy a whole bunch of new mags.
Yeah.
But I think I have to look at it beyond just how, for myself. I mean, and how I carry. I can carry a thicker gun just fine, and I like having the feel of a 19. I like to feel like I'm carrying something more substantial.
Mm-hmm.
Just because something's ultra thin doesn't appeal to me. It's like, well, I can carry it, and I'm not a big fan of one size fits all guns. You know, sometimes people think, well, the new thing, the new hotness comes out, everyone has to drop and get that.
Mm-hmm.
No, if what you have works, then it works. I mean, and I'm not saying that what the military uses or what police departments use is a good metric for what you should use as a civilian for concealed carry, but there's a reason why the SEALs have the Glock 19 as an option. I'm not saying that they all carry it, and not the Glock 48 or the 43. They're going to carry a 19. I think there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Walt, what do you think?
You can stuff a 30-round mag up in the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk capacity. I mean, all those ones that take the 17 style mags, you can stuff the ginormous mag in there, and you got all the capacity you want in the world. So you can't do that with the little slimline single stacks.
Yeah, and one of the questions I always ask myself is, would the anti-gunners hate this gun? And the answer is, if it takes that Glock 19 mag, well then yes, well I'm buying it, because I don't want the 43, because it's going to carry what, like 7 rounds, I think. That's not enough. It's not going to piss off enough anti-gunners.
Well, they hated all your guns, so
yeah,
that's
yeah. I look. I think. Yeah, I think I get the point.
Opinion.
Yeah, I think I get the point that he was trying to make. It's probably a little bit of a troll, and it's also a little bit true. But then again, Mac totally trolled me when he did. Remember, he did a video about the Gen 6, the G6 Glock. And I looked at this video. I was like, okay, at some point, he's going to show me this G6. Never. And he knew it. You could see he had that smile on his face. And the whole way through, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But, I mean, what is we talked about it earlier. What's the Gen 6 Glock going to be? Is it really going to be? It's going to probably.
Texture.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know. I don't even know if it'll be that. What will it really be? I mean, and do we even really care?
Probably not. It's one of my complaints. I started off as the Fort Worth Colt guy. That was my original channel name and what my channel evolved from. So I've always loved Colts, but I've always been open to admitting that Colt sucks and that they have no innovation. And that's one of the reasons why they got into the financial situation that they're in. You can only make a 1911, an AR-15, and the single action army for so long, and while all these other companies are innovating. Glock is kind of doing the same thing, and now that you have all these other companies that are making such high quality, desirable polymer framed guns, stealing their market, until they're going to have to eventually innovate. Eventually, they're going to have to become relevant.
Yeah.
But so that's what their G6 is, or the G7 will have to be. And I know everyone says, "Oh, I can't wait for the Glock carbine." No, they're not going to make a carbine, but we're
going to get a carbine one day. We'll get a carbine one day. How dare you, sir? We won't know. I know the carbine exists. I promise you there's a Glock carbine in the safe somewhere in Germany.
I don't think so. No.
I think so. I think there is.
Know what they're bred
I have it on good authority that there is a Glock carbine being developed, and it's probably been developed for years. They've probably been developing that thing for over 10 years, but they won't put it out. They won't put it out.
Well, there's one Glock that I want so bad, and I do not know why they will not bring it to the United States. It's the Glock 46. Do you know what that is?
Let me guess. Is this the one with the hammer, or what is it?
Rotating barrel.
Rotating barrel.
They made it for a German police contract, and it's a really cool design. I would love to shoot that gun. And of course, from a collector standpoint, I would love to have a 25 or a 28. I know they're unicorns in the collecting world, because only a few police departments ever got them and then got released to the public. But that G46 is cool.
Yeah.
And that is innovative because it doesn't use the same locking mechanism. And to me, that's what Glock has to do. And that to me, that's the future of Glock is to do stuff like that. But why they will not bring it to the United States, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it would be importation guidelines. Because it's a 19 size.
We're just not worthy. No suit for us.
We're just not worthy.
Yeah. Flying Rich says the Gen 6 Glock will be a revolver. Yeah, polymer revolver. And if Glock made it, they would sell a cajillion. And Tools and Target says Mac is a master baiter. See, I said it there. If Mac, if you're listening, that was Tools and Targets. That wasn't me. You know, there you go. I thought it was funny. I laughed at that video. And you know, it's kind of like, yeah, they're not. If you think that Walther wasn't like a drastic change between the PPQ and the PDP, I think if Glock put out a Gen 6 Glock, it's not going to be anything fantastic. It's not. It's like a 911 or something, right? Where you're just going to get this little tiny upgrade, you know, and you'll be happy for it. You know.
All they're going to do is bring back that stupid half moon cut on the front of the grip that they keep trying to push, and then everyone hates it, and then they take it away, and then they bring it back again. I hate that half moon cut. Do you know what I'm talking about to help get that magazine out? Okay,
yeah.
I hate that. When the Gen 5s came out, I wanted the 19. Speaking of the 19, and I held it, and it just rubbed on my pinky. I was like, I can't take it.
Can't do it. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of rotating barrels, the Grand Power, one of the Grand Power pistols has a rotating barrel that you can buy right now, I guess. I have one here.
Right. There's so many, like, I think that the game, I think Glock really probably, I think the Steyr was out first, right? The Steyr pistol. I think that might have come out first, but Glock really, like, solidified this game, and there were other people that were messing around with polymer stuff or whatever.
It was the HK VP70 was the first polymer.
Okay, so there you go. There were other things out there, but they really got it locked in, and it's because they kept to simplicity, right? Simplicity is genius. I have a ton of Glocks out there. I don't know, there might be a couple of people who don't have any Glocks at all. But most gun guys have some kind of Glock.
My next door neighbor is a big gun guy, and he hates Glock. He says it's the grip angle, and he thinks that they just look like a big box Tupperware. And I totally get that, but I actually shoot Glocks very consistently, and that's one of the reasons why I like them so much. I'm not saying they're the prettiest gun or the best made gun. I love mechanically how I think the Gen 1 was only made of 33 parts, which is genius. How to get a gun down to that few parts. But I know people that don't like Glocks, and for some reason, once they get it into their head that Glocks are bad, or I don't like Glocks, they will not touch one again.
Or their hand was maimed by 1911, so now their hand cannot go into the proper shooting angle because of it, because they've been forever altered.
That's like the folks that say, well, we can't change our service rifle from the M16 because of the, you know, the, what do you call it? You know where the safety is, you know where the thing is, you know where the thing is. Yeah, the memory, your muscle memory. That is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. You can pick, unless you're a weetod, you can pick up an assault rifle. If you pick up an AR-15 or an AK, you can learn how it works pretty quick. HK91, G3, same thing. That's just an excuse not to, you know. Well, you mentioned Colt before. No innovation. Colt's problem was they were hooked onto the government side for so long that they thought that would last forever. And
it's crazy that Colt never came out with a polymer handgun.
Yeah, actually they did.
They did.
M2000.
They did. Wait,
yeah,
hold on, I'm gonna have to look this up.
All that was a warmed over 1911.
It was not hammer fired. It was striker fired. It was designed by originally.
What was it? M what?
The M2000. It was called the All American. I actually owned one. It had a rotating barrel. It was the initial design was by Eugene Stoner, and he worked in collaboration with Knights Armament. And Colt bought that patent for that gun from Knights Armament in return for Knight's Armament being able to get all those machine guns from Colt.
Yeah.
They they thought it was going to be the greatest thing ever, and then they changed the design. They cheaped it out. Supposedly the original gun was pretty good that Stoner designed, and then Colt screwed it up. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of it now.
Yeah.
So how many of
American-
these are out there? I wouldn't mind owning one of these just for
They
the.
made 20,000 of them, or about 20 to 22,000 of them. And if memory, they're horrible. The trigger is horrible. It's double action only.
What are they worth?
Not worth that much.
They're
No.
worth about $600 to $800.
But look at the gun.
It's
It
ugly.
It is fugly.
Yeah.
It's not ugly. It's fugly. And you could.
So
you could
it's so ugly you wouldn't even put a bag over it and shoot it, Walter? Is that
I'd
what you're
take
saying?
one. I'd take
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Once again, I'm an equal opportunity gun owner.
Mm-hmm.
It was
But-
part of my collection for a while because number one, I collect Colts, and number two, it was such a unique mechanical design. But when you handle one, you go, "This sucks."
And people think that as soon as they see it. They don't even have to shoot it. That thing's ugly. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't sell them.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't sell them. I remember when those were out. I mean, you know, I'm older than both you guys. I remember when they were out, and it's just like, ew, really?
So,
Colt? Come
but
on.
my question would be: so they only put out one version. They never put out different versions. They didn't try to make that better.
There was a steel framed version that was very, very, very rare, and there was one that was like it had wood grips, and it was like a collector's edition. I have seen both of those, but for the most part, they were all polymer that you'll probably see the pictures of.
Okay. All right. Cool. M. Gabriel is asking me a technical question. He says, Hank, what software are you using that I can show closed captions on a live stream? I don't know what will do that. So I'm using Ecamm here, which I could throw up what you guys are saying, but I don't know if this could do closed captions necessarily. A lot of that comes on the Google side that they translate everything we're saying, and I don't know if you could see closed captions right now. Because if you can, then maybe Google is translating it in real time. Typically, afterwards, when it gets processed, they translate it. Or if we put up videos, and then you can see the closed caption. And they use that. This is the one thing about when you put up videos, the algorithm is actually listening to what you say in the beginning of the video. And it's using that to see what you're saying. Okay, LV Louis Cipher says, I can see closed caption. Oh, that's how they're, that's what they're
If you
doing.
ever want to see something funny, but with that automatic closed captioning, is watch YouTube try to figure out what Joe Biden is saying in some of his speeches when he just mumbles. It's hilarious. What
Joe
they think
Biden
he's
doesn't
saying.
know what he's saying.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah. He's definitely not sticking to the script. Yeah. Let's see what the closed caption tell us. Someone who's looking at the closed caption, I'm going to do this right now. Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa. Mama say, mama sa,
What comes up?
Yeah, tell us what comes up.
What comes up when I say fugly? What comes up?
It probably has that. Yeah, I wasn't aware that while we were live you could see the closed captions. Kiaski says, yeah, closed captions are on now. Interesting. YNH says, I see it as well. Okay. All right.
But
Smash the thumbs up. Smash the thumbs ups, people. Yeah.
Another thing I think gun people do, not gun people, and I don't want people use that term really because a lot of people that own firearms are not gun people.
Mm-hmm.
They're just people who bought a gun. They will buy that gun because they like the way it looks. I mean, that gun looks sexy. That gun looks like something that the military would use. That gun looks like a Glock.
Nothing will get my wife to buy a gun more than if it's pink. So we were at a gun show recently, and she saw a pink AK, and she's like, I have to have that.
I mean,
sacrilege.
look how many people think. How many people that look at certain guns think they're Glocks, and they have no clue what the gun is, but they think it's a Glock. That's a Glock.
Yeah.
Or not only is it a Glock, it's a Glock 40. I like that. You ever?
Well, that's like
video where
that's like Velcro. It's the name of the brand has become synonymous with the type of gun, and I think that's what it is that's happening there. Probably.
That's why there's things called design patents. Mm-hmm. You can't make a Glock. You can't make a gun that looks identical to a Glock, or you're going to talk to Glock's lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's that's why Smith & Wesson Sigma. Remember the Sigma? The Sigma went down because first thing they knocked it off directly internally, from what I understand, and it looked a little bit too much like a Glock, and that's why the lawyers of Glock went after Smith and Wesson. So,
well, I tell people all the time that there's only a Colt AR-15. If you have a gun that's like an AR-15, it's an AR-15 style. It's not an AR-15 because only Colts can make AR-15s because they own the registered trademark.
Yeah. What do you say to that, Walt?
They might own the AR-15 on AR-15. They do, but they tried that game on M4 and they lost that. They lost that one.
They lost that, but the AR-15 is owned by Colt, so only Colts can make an AR-15.
Okay.
Right.
That's why every other company has to brand it as, whatever, like PSA 15 or whatever 15. They can't say AR 15 because it's an actual brand.
Yeah. But that doesn't stop them from
copy the design.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we have AR lowers in stock now for everybody listening. So
yeah, Walt, I tried to go to your website earlier and it wasn't up.
Oh, somebody told me the front page wasn't working or something.
Yeah, I don't think. Let me try to do it again and see if we could pull it up here.
I'll have to.
I'm gonna try to do it again here. Let's see if
I'm seeing AR lowers.
How are your lower receivers milled out? Do you have the legend there where it's or do you have the one like some of those companies do where it's like an M16 profile?
I'm gonna share the screen while I'm doing this. You guys go ahead and talk. So let's see. I'm gonna try to go through the. Yeah, see, it says website coming soon. Stay tuned.
What? I'm looking at it.
Okay, maybe. Let's see if I can refresh it and get it to. Oh, there we go. Boom. AR lowers. So that was from earlier. It was cached. So
let's see if there's a picture of it.
The Civis Passum is still out of stock. Stripped AR-15. Those are in stock.
Soon. Civis Passum.
Okay, so if anyone's looking for one, what about Hank Strange ones? Are there Hank Strange ones available?
Those are soon too. Those are coming too.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
So Walter's got lowers. My favorite thing, one of my favorite gun things to collect is AR lowers. So if you guys are looking, get up on your Safety Harbor firearms AR lowers.
Okay, there's a picture on the site showing the inside the lower itself. So it's got the standard kind of shelf you have in most AR lowers. But yeah, yep, they're in stock. Yep. And there's more coming. So. Including those Civis Passum and the Hank Strange ones.
Yeah, there's going to be some Hank Strange ones coming out there for anyone who's looking for some Hank Strange lowers. Which, when those come out, I'm going to give... I don't know how many, Walters. How many are you making? Do you know?
I think I had 20 of the Hank Strange ones, and the Civis Passum ones, I probably had an equal amount.
Okay. I'm going to give you...
did some...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm getting corrected from the background here. What was that?
30 for CP Passum and 15.
By the way, this is from Richard Hughes sending me this picture of 2020 was hell in a handbasket. That's the patch that's out there. So I think I just heard Peggy saying that there's going to be 30 of the Hank Strange ones out there.
And, or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, if you really want those, you need to keep checking on the Safety Harbor web. Can you give people an idea when they're coming out?
We have to finish the engraving. They've got to go to anodizing. So
okay,
hopefully that'll happen here relatively soon. Yeah.
Okay, a week or so. You guys have to keep checking, and I'm gonna give Walter a bunch of patches that so whoever buys those is gonna get patches along with it. So there you go. That's I'll let you guys know as soon as those are actually available.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, because you know what? I texted Peggy, but by the way, thank Peggy for making me a very nice happy birthday card. I don't know if I have a picture of it. Oh, here we go. I think I could share it with the folks. That was a happy birthday card I got from Peggy, which was very nice. I like that. That was cool. So, and then I'm guessing she doesn't want the pink flamingo thing, so I'm just going to keep those then. Because I tried to ask her and she didn't even answer, so I was like, "Oh, I guess no one likes
waiting
that."
For an answer on the pillow.
No one likes that except me, so it's fine. It's all right. My feelings My feelings aren't hurt.
Okay, I'll answer.
Oh, she said she'll text you back on the.
Yeah. No, I can see it coming through right now. Verbal letters coming in there. So that's so
Richard
weird.
Monder
man.
asked if my lower takes Glock mags.
Boom. No.
I hate that question.
Yeah.
God,
Does it take Glock mags? Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, one of the things we're going to be making here pretty soon, and we designed it last year, was for the street bog, making a lower for the street bog that takes Glock mags.
Mm-hmm.
I get people all the time that want to buy 2 or 3 of them, so I got to get on that. That's one of the things we kind of put on the back burner this last year. So
yeah. Yeah, you got to get up on that, Walt. Get those Glock. Make the Glock mag versions out there. So let's see. So tell us some more stuff about the channel. What kind of cool stuff do you have coming up on Texas Gun Vault?
That's a good question. I usually have about 10 videos ahead or so.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have a range report on the M18 commercial edition because I finally got my M18, my SIG M18 commemorative edition. So now I can shoot my commercial edition. So I have that coming out. Tomorrow I do a gear review on some electronic hearing protection that I got.
Mm-hmm.
I did a review on I filmed it yesterday and today, Magpul D60, my thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I got like some goofy like other stuff that I get, just having a channel of my size. I get people contacting me all the time about, hey, will you look at this flashlight? Yeah, okay, I'll, whatever. If it's free gear, if it's,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I have. And then every Friday I do I call it This Week in Gun News, where I take articles or things that I think are interesting pertaining to the firearms culture, mainly politics, bills, potential stuff that could be happening, either good or bad, could be national, international, or state, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about that every Sunday. I do a Texas Gun Vault question of the week, and then every Saturday is my live stream night. So I usually have like 4 unique videos a week, and then my gun news on Friday, question on Sunday, and then live stream on Saturday.
Okay. What are you going to do when this all goes back to school, man? Do you think we're ever going back to normal? People ever going back to school?
Yeah, because people's memories are short.
Okay.
They really are. I mean, people are just going to get tired of it. I mean, things around here in Texas, things have pretty much gotten back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Everyone says, "Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared." And then I drive around. The malls are packed.
Mm-hmm.
All the if I go down to Cabela's or Shields, it's packed. Restaurants are packed. No one's scared.
Yeah.
No, everything's back.
My
everything's
brother,
back to
one of my brother-in-laws lives in Maryland, and Maryland I think is still in lockdown, and he says every weekend everybody's up in the clubs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay, Maryland's run by
very liberal people.
Democrats.
Yep.
Texas will be one day, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but usually 1 or 2 election cycles from.
Hopefully not, man. We have to claw our way back up. Texas, Florida, all these places are at risk.
You got to shut the borders.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Yeah. Vanessa Kitty says she's late getting in here tonight. Shout out to Vanessa Kitty, however late you are. Smash the thumbs ups. I think we have a good chance of getting to 100 thumbs ups if everyone out there right now smashes it. Okay? And I know you haven't smashed it. Don't try to pretend to me that you smashed it. I
did.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So let's see. What else? Okay, so what's your dream? Let's talk about Walter, I don't know if you have a question for Texas Gun Vault. Do you have a question?
No, you
yeah. I was gonna say, what's your dream gun? What's your dream gun that you would like to have if money was no object?
And it's not a Glock.
Yeah, and if you guys have questions out there for Texas Gun Vault,
let us know. What if it's a Glock 18C? I mean,
18C. Yeah.
I actually got to hold a real Glock 18 a couple days ago. One of my SOT friends around here, he has an MP7 and a G18, and that was so amazing.
Nice
to actually get that. I was so surprised though with how chintzy the selector switch is on that thing. It's like a little piece of plastic. I was blown away. I was like, this gun, this unicorn gun that's so mythical, and the little safety selector is so cheap. I was like, dang. But
it does what it needs to do.
I really would like to have eventually a transferable machine gun. I don't. I mean, I could sell stuff and get one. It's
Which
just,
one? If you were going to get a machine gun right now, which one would it be?
I'd probably want, just because of the versatility, transferable M16. You
Okay.
know, just because you can do so much with it.
Okay.
I mean, would an MP5, maybe like a sear pack would be cool? Yeah, but I think the M16 would be the coolest. But when it comes to non-NFA stuff, I have really been jonesing for one of those new LWRC SMG 45s. And I know people always tell me that, have you seen Garantham's video on it? Yes, I have, and I still want it. I know it's not super accurate. I'm not the world's greatest shot, and if I owned it, I'm going to go have fun with it. I'm not trying to put, this type of grouping at 100 yards. I'm just there to go put some 45 caliber down range and hit some paper.
Yeah, to chug it.
Yeah, I want that right now.
Okay. All right. What do you think about that, Walt?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for accuracy out of a 45 ACP, it comes out of the end of the barrel, not even 1,000 feet per second, I don't think, right? I mean, I don't know.
It's subsonic, yeah.
Yeah, it's subsonic. You're choosing the wrong gun, and even technically guns like that are close up and personal guns. They're not made for target shooting. They're made for dispatching things.
See, of all the different types of firearms, if you go through my channel, you'll discover that I love subguns. Like pistol caliber carbines, I have lots of SBRs, and most of my SBRs, I have B&T, I have the Colt, semi-auto version of like the SNG, and everything I've built is all like a 940. I just love pistol caliber SBRs. I just think they're the coolest gun. I know that speaking of obsolescence, the subgun is been replaced by the intermediate cartridge, and a lot of police departments. I just think submachine guns and PCCs are the coolest type of gun out there. They're just so much fun to shoot. Mechanically, they just fascinate me, especially things like roller delayed blowback or the rotating bolt of the NPX. I just intellectually get off on that stuff. It's like it's just so cool.
Let me just. I got one gun that'll destroy all that modern technology.
High Point.
Swedish K.
Swedish K. Those are awesome too.
Very accurate. Chugs along, hits what you're aiming at. Straight up blowback. Boom, 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 boom. No rotating bolts. No. Yeah. You mentioned the SIG, the SIG MPXs. I have a couple of them. Way overcomplicated. I mean, those guns are super overcomplicated, in my opinion. Versus like MP5, which is a little bit complicated, but they're great guns. MP5, in my opinion. But yeah, once you shoot the Swedish K or you see somebody shoot it, Lola shot it. I have one, and it's like full auto, and the gun doesn't even move. You're right on target. So, it's one of those simple but really well thought out. Yep.
Yeah. So we got a question here from Diesel TV. Says, so what do you guys think is the best 357 SIG? Looking to get one. Who knows about 357?
I just replied to him, and I said the SIG P229R, which, of course, the reason is first off, I love 357 SIG. Unfortunately, I don't own any guns chambered in that right now. I think the cartridge is awesome. Ballistics are great. I love the fact it's bottlenecked, and so it helps with reliability. But I like the P229R because it's the same thing that the Secret Service carried. I know, I like stuff like that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. And then YNH wants to know if you have access to a Swedish M45, Walter.
I have the Port Said, which is the Egyptian version of that. Yes, okay. I do.
So there you go.
Is, if you want to be technical, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
That's what I was just talking about, being so fun to shoot.
So. I'm gonna try to look through the blogs now and see what blog news we got going on. I don't know if there's any blog stuff the folks out there are super interested in.
Can I actually chime in on something?
Sure, absolutely, yes.
Because someone said in the chat that they said the Glock 32, and I want to say I used to own a Glock 32C, and I got to say is if you ever get a 357 SIG, do not get a compensated version of that gun because it will clear your sinuses. That high pressure, that was the loudest, most miserable gun I have ever shot. Have a compensated 357 SIG. So.
Okay. All right. So the other day I was saying that let me see if I can run this in actually. Let's see if we can do this. So this is in the Truth About Guns, and the headline says NRA calls special board meeting for March 14th updated. We covered Wayne LaPierre's boilerplate speech to CPAC and panned Mr. Bespoke $20,000 suits, tired routine. We also noted that thankfully the NRA is working on finding a replacement. The sooner that process is concluded, the better. Now we learn that the NRA's president has canceled a special meeting on March 14th in direct violation of the group's corporate bylaws. See update at the bottom of the post. So March 2nd, 2021, official notice to board members. The NRA president has called for a special meeting of the board of directors to take place on Sunday, March 14th at 10 a.m., blah, blah, blah. So apparently that's been canceled. So
because if I read the article right, it was because they called the meeting with actually that's what was wrong with the bylaws. They're supposed to give 30 days written notice to all of the people attending, and they didn't do that. They just called it.
Yeah.
They can't do that. So anything that would happen at that meeting would not be legitimate.
Yeah.
Now,
so
I have a whole series. Now, I don't know where you guys stand on the NRA, but I have a whole series. I call it the NRA dumpster fire because that whole organization is falling apart, and they're doing more harm than good.
Right.
And I'm one of the people that are of the belief that not 1 cent until Wayne is gone.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So one of the rumors that's out there is that if this meeting ever takes place, it's to announce a replacement, right?
But I still don't trust him because they're all his cronies.
Yeah, it's just going to be it's just more than likely going to be a figurehead. They have to Wayne LaPierre pretty much owns this organization. They would have to walk away from this organization, and then people that we can trust to actually handle it and move it forward that aren't getting their strings pulled by him would have to be there to move it forward. Otherwise, I think like whatever, let it burn.
The whole organization has to be restructured. And I've heard people say, oh, the board of directors need to be reduced to 20 people versus the 100 it has now or something like that. They need to get rid of the office of the executive vice president. They need to return where the president actually has power, where people, the members can vote on certain things. They need to get rid of the committee that selects. And I tell people this. It's a big sham. People tell me, oh, you don't like Wayne? Well, vote him out. I can't.
You can't
do
it.
You vote for the board, and the board selects who can run for the board.
And he owns the board. And
he owns the board.
And there's different levels of the board. There's just like figurehead levels of the board. And then there's the people who he controls, his inner circle, whatever it was in the Lord of the Rings, what was it, the 9 kings or some nonsense that he owns these people.
Wraiths.
Yeah, the ring wraiths, basically. So Vanessa Kitty says NRA is just trying to reincorporate that to then change the bylaws to make it more of an authoritarian dictatorship. Stop sending them your hard-earned funds.
And what's sad is I have so many friends that they know because so many anti-gunners look at the NRA as the big boogeyman that they're like, I have to support. They're just blind about it. I'm like, do you even know what's going on? Do you even know that Wayne LaPierre was, spending $20,000 on suits? So when they're begging you for your $30 here or there, they're just wasting it. They're not. Yeah. It's not actually going. And here's the other thing I tell people in my videos. I say, if you ran a company and you hired a CEO, and the CEO comes in and you're sitting on the board, he goes, okay, in 10 years, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this type of profits. I'm going to move the company and do this. You go, okay, you're hired. Well, after 10 years, if you've done none of it, in fact, you've lost ground, I don't care about the whining of, oh, it's the situation. You go, no, you said you were going to do this. You didn't. Bye.
Yeah, time to get out.
Since I get mad every time I see the interview that Wayne LaPierre did back in 1986 when the 86 Firearm Owners Protection Act was passed. He said, we are not going to rest until we get the machine gun registry reopened. And what is that? That's, for 30-something years now, 35 years, or, it's like, well, I understand that that's probably an impossible hurdle at this point, but you can at least fight for it. But they don't. All they do is try to stop things from happening. They never progress the ball. I don't know what else to tell you. You promise me you're going to do this, and then you don't. I want somebody that's at least going to fight and get results. Or at least try.
Right. I agree with that. Walter?
Wayne must go. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I don't see it ever going to happen. I don't see any change really.
Not so even if he steps down, it's just like some kind of dog and pony show, right?
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
to get rid of that ginormous board and all that process that, you know, it limits everything. You know, it doesn't bring any new blood into the organization. It's just a bunch of old guys. So.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have said for a long time, there's a lot of people. We need the NRA to be made up and headed by different people, just all around, and be more inclusive. You know, if you look at the board of directors, you have a bunch of celebrities. You know, people that was like, what was it? Tom Selleck was on it for a while, and all those other people. They're not doing anything. They never show up to the meetings. And then you have all these, you know, old fat white guys. It's like, no. The Second Amendment is for everyone. We need to bring in other people and show that we're inclusive, show that the Second Amendment is for everybody. And, you know, that's just been my opinion for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know if we need. So
I don't want to turn into a politically
Right,
correct
go ahead.
organization. That's not the way it. This idea that you have to inclusive is, yeah, sure. If you just don't bring people into groups because they're white, they're black, they're girls, they're
I understand.
they're gay,
Yeah,
they're this.
yeah.
You know, they might not bring anything that's of any value to the group.
But there are
You know,
qualified. There are qualified people out there. I think one of the
Sure.
biggest problems with the NRA is they're trying to own everyone that comes on board. Now, I don't
Right.
really have a problem with celebrities, right? I think celebrities do a lot, but we can't put on celebrities what we want actual like jobs we want people to do every day. Right? So there's jobs we want people to do every day and things that they're fighting that we can't necessarily put that on the celebrities. So I'm fine with the celebrities if we understand they're like sectioned off over here. And if they're celebrities and they have money, I think you need to limit like exactly what are we spending on them. It's not something that they should jump into just so we can pay for awesome things for them, right? To some extent, I understand if they're coming to an NRA convention or whatever it is and someone's paying to put them up. It's all good. But in some cases, there's like positions there just to funnel money to people that you like, kind of a deal. And then we need to get like, I don't care what the race or gender or anything like that is of the person. I just want those people to be diehard, committed to the Second Amendment and fighting for that all the time. And as Jason said here, you know, like actually doing something for us every day and making wins and moving us forward.
Yeah, I don't care if they're members of the SIG board or the member of the Colt board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
There's all this. The NSSF is the same way. It's all a bunch of people who are on boards of this or on boards of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they all get together
Just a
and they
game.
have their meetings. They have their dinners and they go play golf and
Mm-hmm.
and they talk all this big game. But are they doing anything about, once again, like NFA stuff? Are they doing anything about suppressors?
Right.
You know, it's
You know
just
what? We need more
it's a
things.
dog and pony show.
We need more things to be decentralized. You know, it's something I come back to often when we have these kinds of conversations, but I really believe that we need to decentralize some of these things. And what I mean by that, instead of NRA is centralized right now. You got one person with cronies around him running the whole thing. Why are we here 2-3 years into this nonsense where we've seen all this going on and we didn't have the NRA doing what they were supposed to be doing over the last actually like probably 4 years, right? We didn't have them doing what they were supposed to be doing, and we're paying the price for that, you know, because these people are running it. So decentralizing it means we all own it. We all run it, right? You know, depending on our participation in that. So if you have passionate folks out there that actually have a say into what happens, then you can really get something done with this stuff. Something decentralized, a good example of that would be like Bitcoin. You know, that's decentralizing money, right? Everyone, I know everyone's like, but honestly, the problem with money right now is the government runs it. So therefore, it's not backed by anything. They can print as much money as they want. They can hand out money like crazy and send up inflation. Your job is not going to give you pay raises to keep up with that. And this is why things like Bitcoin are taking off the way that they are, because that is decentralized, okay? And there's limits to what's going on there. So we need more things like that in our community. I've talked about the things like that related to money, like TUSC. We've talked about those kinds of things. I think people need to look into that and become aware of that. If you're not, it's a cryptocurrency for the firearms industry. But we need other things to be decentralized. So I think we need to look in terms of the NRA for solutions like that, where we have a say in what's going on there, and not a few people. Because even no matter how nice we or awesome we think these people are, once they start getting the money and the limos and whatever it is, it's very easy to fall into that.
It's just like the ATF in Congress. Congress legislated and created the ATF. But then they're like, okay, we're going to tell you generally what to do, and then we're going to put you in charge, and you guys go do whatever it is and create your own regulations. And then there's no oversight. So then the people that are in the ATF, that's why you had the thing that happened recently with Tommy Bostic. You guys know about like the T-36. Just all of a sudden, just arbitrarily, that's a machine gun receiver. But it hasn't been a machine gun receiver for all this time. You never had any problem. Well, we just feel like it now. There's just no oversight.
They're not supposed to arbitrarily create laws like that. I mean, they're not. But yes, there's no one really running the show except them. But we can't run the show. This is the problem with that, right? We can't run the show, and we have no ownership over it. And that's therefore disenfranchising us. And when we look to replace these things, so it's one thing to say, hey, we got to burn that down. I'm one of the people saying that. But whenever we look to replace something, we need to decentralize it. A perfect example of that is Parler. Everyone was like, oh, Parler's the thing. There's Dan Bongino's running it. And Fox News was talking about it. Oh, awesome. Everyone get on that. Well, we're not really running it. It was those guys running it. And then they didn't really understand what they were doing. And because they didn't understand that, they had Amazon as their servers, right? And everything, and they could easily be shut down. If they would have really cared about what they're doing, or anyone else that knew what was going on had input in that, it would have been decentralized. So even if Apple said we're gonna pull your app, and Google said we're gonna pull your app, functionally they would still be up and running.
Well, they are now. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I'm not interested in them anymore. Right? I'm over it because they've kicked people off and all that kind of stuff. They've bent to the powers that be.
Well, one of the people I follow on YouTube a lot. Do you know who Tim Pool is?
Yes.
He talks about how there's a company, and I guess he knows about that. They're trying to create a social media network like Twitter or whatever that uses, I guess, is it like blockchain or a way that's it's decentralized, so nobody can be shut down. You can't have a company go, we're not going to host this anymore because it's not hosted anymore.
We have a couple of those right now. Mine's is like that. But yes, go ahead.
But I think that's going to be the future because, and it's funny. What blows my mind is I support the right to the Second Amendment for everybody, even if you politically feel differently. That's the First Amendment. If people want to have a YouTube channel and say how stupid I am and make videos about how dumb and ugly I am, that's fine. I may not like it and I might be hurt a little bit, but I support that, and I don't want them to be shut down. It amazes me that how when people are one side of the political aisle and when they're in power, they think, yes, we're going to block this. It's hate speech, or they come up with all these terms, and then they're fine with censorship. They're fine with burk burning. They're fine with deplatforming. But I always warn them, one day it will come back to haunt you. And it's just like when Harry Reid killed the filibuster for judicial appointments. And Mitch McConnell says, you will regret this. But the Democrats were great with it. Like, yes, we're going to get all these appointments through. And then that's how we got Kavanaugh. It's how we got Amy Coney Barrett. And they were crying, oh my gosh, you've ruined democracy. No, we're playing it by your rules. And one day, because right now I know it's easy to get depressed and go, oh, censorship, it's all over. The tide will turn. Yeah. And then that's going to give people on, I guess I'll say our side or people of the opposite side of who's in power now will now use the power that they've created to censor them. And they're not going to like it. But that's why, as a libertarian, I support rights for everybody across the board. You can be my political adversary, and I support your freedom of speech to say anything you want, make the content you want. I don't think that anybody should be censored, even if you say horrible things.
We all just need the right to choose and to decide, hey, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see I don't want to see these images. If I don't want to see this, I'm going to block it or whatever. But the idea that we could go, hey, unless, there are things that I think, hey, this would be terrible for people to do or whatever, right? But not based on someone's politics, right? Or based on their opinion. But this is what's happening, and I think one of the things that's happening is as people are seeing that, they're going, "This is not, it's not cool anymore." Everyone knows this is happening, so they don't want to be involved with those things. So eventually, we're going to get that because we're going to demand it. We want to be on the place where we can see what people are really thinking. I don't have to, like you're saying, I don't have to agree with what they're thinking. I want to know, hey, what's this person thinking? You know, and it's good that it's on the record. But when people start going, well, you can't say that the election was fraudulent. You know, you can't mention that we found all these shredded votes or whatever, and these are facts. Then you get kicked off because of that. Then we definitely don't. You know, we definitely don't have that. Go ahead, Walter. Since you want to say something here.
Well, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond. Well, I can't call you. I can't call you out. I can't say anything about you. That's hate speech. You're bullying. You're this. It's always, you know, it's always, you know, you're always being mean or something. You know, it's like, oh, you know, if I don't like you, and
yeah, but they do. I think, as Jason said, they do plenty of that on the other side. These people literally call for bad things to be done to Trump's son, and no one.
Look at those, all the you know, the carrying the head around cut off and stuff and all that kind of stuff. That was all just fun and games for those folks. You know, I mean,
where were those people being banned for life?
Yeah.
Where were those guys being banned for life? You know, if you got the Ayatollah Khomeini, it still has a Twitter, you know, and Trump doesn't have a Twitter for saying, hey, this is nonsense.
Sure, all the man boy love people still have Twitter, and all these other people all have all these other groups all have Twitter, right? You know, I mean.
We're gonna make changes. What I hope is that we make sensible changes, or we look in sensible directions when we do this. It's really, I've had a tough time like trying to talk to people and get people to understand. For example, I mean, so I've talked about the social media thing for a long time. I'm burnt out on that, to be honest with you, right? I knew all of this kind of stuff was coming. I'm not the only person. Everyone knew, you know, that this was coming if they were looking at it. And the thing that's coming next is what's already been here. Operation Choke Point. It's coming. They're going to shut us off from doing commerce online. And people go, well, who cares? I'm not going to do... Well, where's most of the commerce getting done?
Yeah.
How are you going to do... How is your business going to survive, Walter, if you can't sell stuff online?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
Yeah. So it's really important for us to be able to sell stuff online. Like, I get people going, well, I'm just going to have gold and I'm just going to do this. Okay. So then we're going to all be isolated. We're all going to be prisoners. And I could tell you, in a true apocalypse, no amount of gold or silver is going to do anything for you. No one cares about that. Chocolate is going to be more valuable than gold. Toilet paper is going to be more valuable than gold.
A bottle of Jack Daniels and them cigarettes.
Yeah. Bullets, those things will probably be more valuable.
Because when there's no cigarettes, these people will be going around like heroin addicts looking for smoke. So,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we're not in that, and if we're not in an apocalypse and other people could buy and sell things and we can't do something that's guaranteed to us by the Second Amendment, that's a sacrilege. But they will do it by simply turning off the money to companies. Okay? Forget about passing laws and all that kind of stuff. The banks can right now walk away from companies because they're in the firearms industry, and they have been doing it. Okay? There's banking laws right now that says that a bank can't tell me, hey, we're not going to deal with you because of the color of your skin. They can't tell me that. But you know, they're considered utilities. But they could tell me we're not going to deal with you because you're a gun guy. That's what PayPal did when they banned me for life, and they banned so many other guys. It's like a quietly kept secret. No one wants to admit that they're being banned by PayPal, and so they're just going through banning gun guys. You know, and we're allowing that to happen, and we're going to turn around one day, and this is going to be on a mass scale, and there's an entire, you know, several billion-dollar industry, right, that's just completely ignoring it. Like, yeah, whatever.
Well, necessity is the mother of invention. And I tell people that eventually there will be systems that rise up to you know,
fill the void.
Yeah, to fill it, because there are people that want to engage in firearms commerce, and it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to stop it.
Mm-hmm. There's people who understand that there's money to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Right, not just selling of stuff, but providing that money service.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Kioski is asking this question, and I think he asked it before, Walter. And I don't know. You feel free to jump in here, Texas Gun Vault. What banks are 2A friendly? Well, I think he wants to know locally to Walter. Walter, do you have banks that are 2A friendly to you locally that you know about?
Oh, we have bank accounts.
Yeah, but I don't know that we could say they're 2A friendly.
I mean, I don't. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and do I want to start?
Yeah, if you mention them, you don't want to mention them because people.
There's things to talk about, and there's things not to talk about.
Right. Okay.
Well, I think the way to go is, of course, I don't know what it's like if you're setting up a business, but if you're an individual, one of my next door neighbors is the CEO of a pretty big credit union, and she says all the time, she gets mad when I even say the word bank. She goes, "No, you need to get a credit union because it's owned by the people that have the deposits. It's not a corporation."
Okay.
And they're guided by a whole different set of rules, and that's what
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
We bank with a national. It's one of the big national ones. We haven't had anything yet. Yeah. Early on, there was some banks that didn't want to do credit card stuff with gun stuff, and that's nothing new. By the way, that's nothing new. It's not like not every credit card company will deal with firearm stuff. They call it's too high risk, and the high risk meaning with chargebacks and all that stuff like that. We don't have that.
Kioski, I think you need to call Walter and talk to him personally.
Well,
but I understand what Walter's saying here. If he puts that out there, then people could choose to go after him, give that bank a hard time or whatever.
That's like when people ask, "What are you going to do if they come and get your guns?" You notice how I got quiet?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna go out now. I'm gonna start. Come on, stop.
It depends on the situation how they come.
Everybody's got these grandiose plans, like they're gonna take over the world and defend the whole block. Well, I got news for you: when 100 cops show up at your place, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put my family. At risk.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
You start shooting, you're gonna die.
What we need to do if 100 cops come and there's 1,000 of us, might be a different story.
Different.
Yeah,
that's different, but that's not going to happen on the all of a sudden.
Well, I don't worry about confiscation because I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, and they all say, I ain't going to go, I'm not going to risk my life. And even if that started to happen, there's not enough people out there. You'll start hearing it before it ever comes to you. Like, oh my gosh, they're starting to confiscate guns in New York. Well, you're going to be so well prepared that by the time there's only 5,000 ATF agents, and not all of them are assigned to firearms, and not all of them are actually field agents.
Yeah.
So by the time they get around to you, you'd be like, I don't have any guns, because you've.
Yeah. Well, they're going to add more. One of the things you're going to see happen is they're going to add more ATF agents. I think there'll always be cops willing to go out there and take out guns from people. I think it comes down. This is why the local stuff is so important. I think if it comes down to it, depending on where you live, your community, you need a community to stand up to these things. We've got entire states around the country standing up to it. We definitely have counties around the country standing up to it. And we need sheriffs, etc., standing up and going, nope, you can't come into our counties and try to take guns from our citizens. It's going to take a lot of stuff like that. I don't want to say it's never going to come to that. I think, to go back to what we said in the beginning here, which we need to wrap it up, but I think Walter was saying, don't put it past these guys to create something and go, because of this now, everyone has to lose their rights to guns. Right. And I'm never going for that. I don't care if they give up. I don't care if everyone in the government gives up their guns. I'm still not going to do it.
Oh, they're not going to give up their guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to be a conspiratorialist, but they're going to create things. I have a feeling. So they're not past it. The government's not. Some of the stuff that different agencies have done, that they're not above.
I think we have a modern example of this, and I brought this up when the bump stock ban happened. I said, okay, I know people that had bump stocks. I don't know a single. I think the ATF even said from
No, they didn't
civilians,
get the bump stocks. Yeah,
they got they collected like 42 nationally.
they
And
got it for
estimated there
some
were
companies. They got it from
Yes.
companies. Yeah, as we
I
said
don't know
earlier.
anybody. I don't see any pictures, videos. I have never heard anybody, and I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying I don't know anybody that's like, here's a picture of me chopping up my bump stock. I haven't seen a bump stock since, but I have a
And here's
strong inclination there's still 800,000 of these things out there.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Okay,
Most
listen.
definitely.
Yeah, listen, we got to wrap it up here because I know people have things to do or whatever, but obviously we're having an awesome conversation here. I would like to suggest that everyone still hanging out with us smashes those thumbs ups. I think about 14 thumbs ups gets us to 100. So I think you guys could do it while we're waiting for you all to do that and get us there. Let's start with Walther Killer Keller. Tell the folks how they could support you out there, where can they follow you, communicate with you. If people have questions, etc.
Yeah, and by the way, if you need to buy something and you don't want to use your credit card, we do take checks and cash. By the way, too, and that's an old school thing that a lot of new people don't know about. The mail.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm gonna get you signed. I'm gonna get you signed up for TUSC, Walter. I'm gonna get you signed up.
I need to do that. I need to do it. I need to do it. Safety Our Firearms is on all the big YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. There's all safetyourfirearms.com. There's stenparts.com. And then, of course, Do It For Racing, doing the mini bike stuff, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So check those out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So definitely go to Dirtfoot Racing. You can see lots of cool stuff going up there. Keep an eye on Safety Harbor Firearms because there are some lowers coming out. All right, let's go to Texas Gun Vault. Tell the folks all the different ways they can support you, sir, follow you, etc.
Well, just check me out on YouTube. That's my main thing. I'm just one person with another full-time job, so I don't have a lot of social media presence outside of YouTube. I do have an Instagram. I do try that. If you want to become a Patreon, you can. I have a few Patreons over there that are awesome. Just check out my videos. I know that YouTube's been throttling gun channels a lot. I was getting a lot more views before January, and now it's all just been throttled. But I heard that everybody, from even the biggest channels, are getting just 1/3 of what they used to. And I don't think it's lack of interest. But if you just go check out my channel, I have a daily video. Just make sure you're subscribed. If you want to buy merch, I have a little T-shirt shop at the bottom of my thing. I think
Sweet.
Everyone does.
Yes.
That's it. So check me out on Instagram, YouTube, Tinder, or whatever I got. I don't know.
Wait. Hold on. Yeah, Tinder.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, please do support Texas Gun Vault. I think this is a great show. It's great having you on, man.
So
hopefully we'll get you to come on again. Yeah, it was great having Walter here as well. I do want to let everyone know, while you're all smashing those thumbs ups on the way out the door here, there is no show for the rest of this week. Basically, we got a bunch of things going on, including that we're going out to Sam Andrews, so we're going to be making some How It's Made videos out there with Sam Andrews. I'll post something here for anyone who's got questions and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll get him to do, we'll do a question and answer at some point. So, no more shows for this week, but you can watch episodes, and I'll get some snippets thrown up. I'm trying to catch up to everything around here. It's been kind of crazy. Lots of people were saying this was an awesome show. They had a great time. Shout out to all the Texas Gun Vault people that came through. You guys are amazing and awesome.
I have the best subscribers on YouTube. Nobody beats me.
Absolutely. I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I am going to run in the end here, and then maybe we'll come back, Walter, and we'll get a final word from Texas Gun Vault here.
Sure.
Big shout out to Franklin Armory. Thanks to them for supporting the channel here. We appreciate Franklin Armory. We appreciate them fighting for the Second Amendment as well. All right, let's run in the end scene. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe, smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell. We are going to rip the audio out of this and throw it up on iTunes and all your other favorite places to get your audio podcast. There are people around the world listening to us. Shout out to all those people in all those cool countries out there listening to us, yearning for freedom, and as well as all the folks in America that listen to us.
Yearning for freedom.
Yes. Truth, Walter, truth. So here's the thing. Texas Gun Vault, hit us with your words of wisdom, sir.
Support the Second Amendment. Do all you can to be good ambassadors. Just represent the community well, because that's how we're going to win the fight in the long run.
Amen. Amen. Good words right there. We will see you guys next week. We're out of here. Follow us all on social media. Great way to stay in touch with everyone, and including myself, until we're back. Peace. We out.
Good evening. Good evening.